Hey, this is Carrie with Canary Quilts, and today we are going to be putting our Birds of a Feather quilt top together. It's been a whole year since I started this, and for anybody that's new, a year ago I was in a subscription at Fat Quarter shop that was the salad of the month, and their salads were bird themed colors each month. And I went out and found bird named blocks and incorporated the bird colors into each block each month till we got through down here, you can barely see it, to Cardinal in December. So these, if you're new, these patterns are available on my website. You can find the links down below, but we are here finally to put it together. I have two videos. I'll link the last video I did on how to do the sashing my way if you want to do it this way, and it's also in each pattern each month. And then this month I have the dimensions for the outer border here, and I did it in all different colors. I tried to match up colors with each of the blocks here. I threw in the gray for chickadee here. So that's kind of how I went around and did my colors. I do have that in the pattern, but I also have if you only want to do a single color border. So today's not going to be too hard. I show you how I put my row together, and then we will put the whole thing together. I'll show you how I did my borders, and that's about it. It's been a lot of fun. I've had some really good response. I really appreciate everyone who followed me, who did this. I would like to say, if you want to send me pictures of your blocks or your finished quilt, I have my email down in the description below also. You can send me pictures. And so I'm going to quilt this myself, and when I get it quilted, I will show you. And if you want me to, let me know if you want me to show off your blocks in your pictures with the quilt. So, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. This was so much fun to do. This was such a learning experience. And if I'm going to do something like this again, I will certainly let you know ahead of time, and we can have fun again. So check out my channel, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. We'll have a lot of fun here. But anyway, let's get started finishing up our Birds of a Feather. All right, to finish out this Birds of a Feather quilt, I am doing a colorful border, but I have included dimensions for just a single color border also. But to go through my colorful border, I'm going to show you how I cut it and how I put it together. I also am going to show you how to put the last row together. And I've already put together the 9 blocks. So one thing that I'm doing in my rows is, and excuse my back page, I still had newspaper print in when I printed it. So my blocks have a long sashing. You can probably see the seams right here, and a short sashing. This is the 4th row. So our short sashing in the 4th row, what I've done, so what I want to do, what I'm trying to get at is I want my sashings to meet up long and short together. So in this row, my short sashing is going to be on top so that my long sashing will meet the short one in the middle block. So the middle block will have the long sashing at the top. And then when we put on the last block, the long sashing will be against the short block right here, or the short sashing. And then each row has a different order so that we're always meeting a long sashing next to a short sashing. So I have that order in my pattern. You don't have to follow it. I just personally feel like the quilt might be stronger if we're doing one strip over top of these seams and not matching these seams. That's just my personal feeling. So I've laid that out in the pattern for you to see. So this one we are doing short sashing on the top, then a long sashing, then a short sashing. And I'm going to be doing these 3 blocks right here. What I have over here is my colorful border. I have cut each of these pieces are going to be the same size as our block, which is 16.5 inches. We're going to have 3 colors on the top and bottom, and then 4 on the sides. And then I tried to match the colors next to the block that they're next to. So I actually have chickadee here because chickadee doesn't go next to anything. And then flamingo, and I think that's bluebird, cardinal. This is the grackle color, barn owl. And then these two here, that's indigo bunting, oriole, green parrot, blue jay, hummingbird. So that's how I came up with my colors. I actually have them laid out here for you to see how I laid them out if you want to do the same thing. What I've done is I've gone ahead and cut them and put them in the rows that they're going to be together in. So this is my top row. This is my bottom row. This is this side row over here, the left side, and then this is the right side. So all I'm going to have to do is sew these sets together and iron those seams open. And then I have cornerstones in each corner, all the same color. So that's those. I'm going to set those aside for now. Again, explained in the pattern what sizes to cut them, how I laid them out, and also if you don't want to do that, how you can do just a single, or the dimensions for a single strip block. But bordering from the center out, bordering is pretty personal. Maybe you want a wider border. I mean, maybe you want to be more fancy with your borders. It's just, at this point, it's up to you what you want to do. And there's lots of things you can do if you want to make it bigger. So, to put these blocks together, like I said, I am trying to keep my short and long sashings together. So long sashing, short sashing. And I'm going to set that aside. Let's flip these over. These are the sides we're going to put together. What I start with, if you did this same sashing that I did, is all you have to do is line up these seams right here. Line those seams up so that your points match up. Pin it. I'm going to line these two seams up. That's the most important seams, and then there's no more seams to match, so I'm just going to line up from point to point, from end to end. I am going to sew along this edge, and I'm going to iron my seams open. And then I'm going to repeat with the red one on this side of my barn owl so that the long sashing of the cardinal block will be right here. All right, there we go. My row is put together. So now we have to add this to the bottom of my quilt that I've already put together, which is this section. I'm going to add my row onto the bottom right here in the exact same way that I put these together here. I'm going to match these seams. I'm going to match these seams where the two blocks come together. I'm going to sew along that edge and iron it open. All right, now that we have the top put together, we will put our borders together. And if you're doing borders like mine, then this is how it's going to go together. Like I said, I have my 4 different rows here, and my rows of 3, which are these two, are each going to have the cornerstones put on each end. So all I'm going to do is sew my pieces together in this order and iron them open. And then I'm going to sew my sets of 4 together and iron them open. So, and then we can start putting them on our quilt center. And it's going to start to look like that. All right, there are my strips. Here are the strips that go along the top that have the cornerstones. Those are going to go on second. So I'm going to set those aside. These are going to go, oh my goodness gracious, Jingo. All right, sorry about that. These 2 strips are going to go on the long side, and we're going to iron, we're going to sew them on, we're going to iron towards the strip. So the thing you want to do here is, if you're doing it like me and you want to keep your colors with your blocks, just make sure that you do have your strips oriented that way. All right, I've got my colorful sashing attached, and I attached it where the two blocks come together first so that my seams would line up, and then I pinned it together everywhere else before I sew it. All right, here's the sashings on the side put on. Now we are ready to put the sashing that goes along the top and bottom. So grab the one that matches your colors, if that's the way you're doing it. I've got it folded here, so my hummingbird's in the middle. So I've got blue, green, and yellow. And I'm gonna do the same thing here, where I'm just gonna match up seams next to each of the blocks. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. And then I'll come back and pin the blocks in between these seams. But I want my seams to line up. That's the first thing I want. And I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one. I am going to sew this on, and I am going to iron towards my border. All right, I didn't really show the outside border for this because it's like putting on every other outside border. I had to put two with the fabrics together strips, and I put my seam right here in the middle, and then I went out that way. So that's about it. I think it turned out really pretty. I love it, and I appreciate you for following along with me. Let me know how it's going for you. Like I said in the intro, I have my email address down below if you want to send me pictures, and let me know in the email if you would like me to show off those pictures when I get this done and I show off my quilted version. But anyway, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!